Sit back and relax. I have a story to tell you today about Capacity Kingdom, and when I'm finished, you will know how to convert from gallons to quarts to pints to cups, and never even think twice about which is which. Capacity Kingdom was once ruled by King Capacity, who loved his sons very much. He had two. He decided that when he could no longer rule Capacity Kingdom, he would divide the kingdom in half. Half would go to his son, Larry Leader, and the other half would be given to his other son, Gary Gallon. Today we will learn the events at the castle that became home to Gary Gallon. Capacity Kingdom was ruled by the family that lived in Gallon Castle. They were a kind family who felt that everyone together should make sure that the village that surrounded the castle was a happy place. They always wanted the villagers to know what was happening in the castle. Little did they know that the people in the village that surrounded the castle often made fun of them. The villagers would draw pictures of the castle and often laughed at the family of Gallon Castle. The villagers always drew a large capital G to represent the castle when they would send notes, because they did not know how to read and write words. Now, Capacity Kingdom was originally ruled by King Gallon. He was a kind man who had 4 lovely daughters. As he was nearing the end of his life, he decided that his daughters should all rule together after he died, because they had all been born at the same time. He wrote a decree, which is a law, that said all 4 daughters would be queens and rule Capacity Kingdom and would live happily ever after in Gallon Castle. Most of the villagers could not write, and they wanted to spread the news from King Gallon. Since they didn't know how to write words, they drew a picture hoping everyone would know who would rule the country now that King Gallon had died. Each of the queens had a set of twins that lived in the castle with them, so Gallon Castle was filled with 8 princes and princesses playing while their mothers ruled the land. They all enjoyed doing the things they wanted to do. Gallon Castle was not quiet or calm anymore. The villagers were thrilled about the queens having twins, but were concerned about all the people filling up Gallon Castle. They spread the word throughout the land of the fun-loving sets of twins so everyone would know. The 4 queens became aware that the people in the villages of Capacity Kingdom were concerned about the behaviors of the 8 princes and princesses. They agreed that the 8 children were enough to ensure that Gallon Castle would always have a member of King Gallon's family living in it. Soon the princes and the princesses became bored and wanted pets. The queens talked and decided that the children needed to learn some responsibility. Taking care of a pet would help teach them that. They decided that having dogs as pets would likely lead to the dogs barking and bothering the neighbors. What would they do? One of the princesses said she loved fish, so should have a fish as a pet. One of the princes said he wanted a penguin, because penguins eat fish. Suddenly, one of the queens had an idea. She told the other queens, "We could give each child 2 cats. They could keep them in their part of the castle, and everyone could have 2 pets." They all thought about it and decided that it was a good idea, but each prince or princess could only have 2 cats. If there were any kittens born, they had to be given to a villager. There could only be 2 cats for each prince or princess in the castle. Each prince and princess was then given 2 cats as pets. There were cats everywhere. Cats in Gallon Castle. The villagers were really alarmed now. There were 16 cats, 8 princes and princesses, and 4 queens now living in Gallon Castle. They had to spread the news. Can you draw the message the villagers used to spread the news from Gallon Castle? Hopefully what you drew was similar to mine. 1 Gallon Castle, 4 queens, 8 princes and princesses, and 16 cats. Now let's equate the Gallon Castle queens, princesses, and cats to the actual units of measurement. So the G would be 1 gallon, the Q would be quarts, P would be pints, and C would equal cups. So 1 gallon is the same as 4 quarts, which is the same as 8 pints, which equals 16 cups. The majority of the time you'll use this kind of conversion when you are making recipes, either by doubling or halving a recipe in order to make enough for everyone who's going to be eating.